Hi everyone, this is the LEGO tribute to Jane Austen's book set. It's the very first 18 plus limited edition set, and I'm going to build it without the instructions. Here's a look at the front of the box, the top, and here's the name of the set in French and Spanish, by the way. On the side we see a larger picture of the figure, Jane Austen, and here we see some of the details of the set, which is going to help us build it. And here's a look from a slightly different angle, and we see here a place where you could write a note if you want to give this as a gift to somebody, so that's pretty interesting. So let's open the box and see what's inside. And this one thankfully has the tapes instead of the push tabs, which is good if you want to preserve the box. And the box is about, let's say, 3/4 full, which is not bad for a free gift with purchase. And the threshold for this was 150 US or 195 Canadian. The set contains 5 relatively small bags, as well as these instruction manuals, which unfortunately the cover page got folded up like this. And there is no QR code to scan for points here because this is a set that was given for free. And the cover here is very simple, just a picture of the set and the set number. So extremely minimalist, as is the case with most instructions these days. And the set also includes this small sticker sheet right here. And I will be using this brick separator, which is sold separately, to apply the stickers as usual. And I'll build this set without the instructions, referring only to the building phases for each bag. So basically bag 1 builds this, bag 2, etc. So let's get started. Interestingly enough, we got a printed tile for Jane Austen, and this is exclusive to this set. It might show up on Pick a Brick later, so very interesting that this is a print and not a sticker, and I really appreciate that. Bag 1 gives us the Jane Austen minifigure, as well as the base of the set, and I don't know where this piece goes. It might be an extra that I got randomly, or it might go somewhere, I'm just not sure, so I'll just hold on to it and move on to the next bag. See, I was hunting for that window pane when it was in the bag the whole time. This is very hard to detect. But basically, you need to make sure to fully empty your bags each time. If you really can't find it, then call LEGO customer service and they'll send you the piece eventually. But search first in your bags. Bag 2 builds this nice window right here, as well as this bookshelf. And here's what it looks like from the back. I know that in theory this piece should go here, but it's going to block another piece that comes right after it, so this is the solution that made the most sense to me. Or I could have just made this face forwards, but that's not what I see on the box, so I just use this stud instead, so it's close enough. Bag 3 builds up the walls here at the back, as well as some of the details here at the top. Bag 4 builds the spine of the book, and it's done in a very interesting way internally, so we're not going to see this when the build is done. But basically the whole thing is color-coded around these 2 Technic axles, the red one here and the yellow one, which has a different length. And so all the other pieces that the designer used are somehow related to them, so I find that to be very interesting. Then attached to the spine on the side is this nice fireplace with some small flowers growing on top, and then we slide the whole thing in, or maybe attach the fireplace afterwards. bag 5 finishes the build with a lot of the interior details, including these stickered pictures right here, this piano, which is done very nicely, and this curtain, and this inkwell on top of a small table. I just realized this piece needs to go there. Alright, now we are truly done with the build. These are the official extra pieces of the set, and with these you can create a nice bouquet with this piece and a bunch of the flowers. You also get an extra inkwell and an extra spoon for the minifigure to use, and there's also these two pieces that are supposed to go into the build somewhere, but I just don't know where. Or maybe this particular triangle piece is an extra, I'm not sure. There's one minifigure included in the set, and it's this Jane Austen minifigure, and I like the head and the torso, especially with the olive green and the nice printing throughout, but the skirt piece or dress piece is rather simple, has zero printing on the sides or even the front, so I think that's a bit of a missed opportunity. The face is okay, and she does also get a more serious expression, as shown right here, and here's what that looks like in context. So yeah, it's a nice exclusive minifigure to get for this gift with purchase, but I just wish it was a little bit better by adding some leg printing. The main build of the set is quite interesting. I'll just take this and just attach it to one of the studs just so it's not going to get knocked over all the time, and you can place Jane Austen on one of these studs if you like, and that is shown on one of the pictures of the box, but I'll show you the display first. So it's situated in what is basically a corner of a house. So we get to see this wall, and it's not a 90-degree angle, so it makes things a bit more open and interesting. And we get to see some nice details right here. So first of all, we have these stickers that are reminiscent of the novels by Jane Austen. So these are stickers, unfortunately, unlike this print, but at the same time, it doesn't bother me that much because you can also replace these pieces with printed pieces that are maybe less relevant if you want to keep it all prints. But these stickers are okay, and this is the other sticker for just some sheet music, and honestly, this should be a print that is reused in all LEGO sets, just like the piano pieces themselves. And one interesting thing to note about the stickers is that they're using the LEGO yellow flesh tone as opposed to the more realistic flesh tone of the Jane Austen minifigure. And I'm not sure if this is a licensed set or not because Jane Austen passed away quite a long time ago. She was an author in the 1800s. So I don't know if LEGO actually had to pay a license to use this name, or if they're just using this to be realistic, because usually LEGO uses the realistic skin tones only with licensed minifigures. But here the stickers appear to be unlicensed, so that's a pretty interesting choice right there. I have a feeling that they might have redesigned the set halfway through or 3/4 of the way, and then the stickers, they just kept the original designs. So that is something interesting to think about, and I don't know if we'll ever get an official confirmation about that. So we also have this bookshelf right here, and it's a nice bookshelf with a bunch of books in all sorts of different colors, and there's a bit of texture as well, so they're not all the same piece again and again. And at the end of the build, the fireplace is still a little bit wobbly, so do keep that in mind. But also, this is a display set more than a play set, so it's not a very big deal in my opinion. Yeah, and the fireplace itself looks nice with the flames right here and the flowers up top. Next up, we have this piano, which is built with studs on the side construction. I do like the use of the minifigure spoons here as pedals. I don't know if I've seen this before. We're also using the lightsaber hilts here, recolored in dark brown, as stands or legs for the piano, so that's also interesting to see. So nice part usage right there. Then we have this curtain, which is done in a simple way, but I still enjoyed putting it together. It made sense to me, and like this part especially is really nice. And then we're pretty much done with the front or the interior of the set, and we can move to the back or the exterior. This wall is very simple, not that much to talk about here, but I'll mention that this is a panel piece, and it's used so that some of the pieces in the bookshelf can stick out. So it's a way to build quickly with minimal part count. The spine here is nice. It's done quite well and tiled off in the end, so it's very smooth. You don't really see any studs on this particular surface, so that is nice to see. Here we have this window with this arch and these flowers, and this is reminiscent of the building architectures at the time. And here's a look at the set from the top, just so we get a better understanding of it. And from the bottom, not much to talk about here, but it might give you an idea of the profile of the set. And by the way, while we're here talking about the set, we can attach this set to a studded surface by adding one plate, and then this is not going to be attached to that surface, or we could attach it using this dimension right here. So you cannot just take this and plop it directly on top of a base plate just because of the 45-degree angle right here. So you have to pick to orient it either this way, or maybe you can have like some turntable and something like that to orient it in some other direction. As I said before, the Jane Austen minifigure can be fit on one of these studs, so she can be facing towards the viewer like this, or towards the bookshelf. Well, any of these 4 directions are possible, so that's definitely nice to see. And I'm happy that they included at least one minifigure in the set. Maybe they could have included one more as one of the famous characters in her books, but maybe that's asking for too much here. Ultimately, I think this is a good gift with purchase for the threshold of 150 US or 195 Canadian, because you're going to spend that money, you're going to get those sets, and maybe with double insider points, depending on when you place your order exactly. And then on top of that, you get this set completely for free. So I don't have any major complaints about it. This thing is a little bit wobbly, but it's not the end of the world. These stickers could have been prints, but that would have bumped up the price of the threshold significantly. So I'm not going to ask for these to be prints when it's a free gift with purchase. And now that I think about this more, the fact that they went to great efforts to print this piece means that they might actually have another Jane Austen set coming along the way. I'm not sure about that, but they might have a Jane Austen book nook, for example, depending on how well the other book nooks do. And I've noticed that all the book nooks are somehow related to books. It took me way too long to realize that, but the Sherlock Holmes book nook, that one is obviously related to Sherlock Holmes. Harry Potter. Well, that's a famous book series before it became a movie, and same thing for Lord of the Rings. So who knows, we might get a Jane Austen book nook later this year, or more likely next year, and that would feature this same tile and perhaps the same minifigure, but maybe with some exclusive printing on the legs or the sides just to make it a bit more special. And one other piece of good news about this set is that although it appears that it will not fit in the box, if you just push it like this, if you lift it up slightly, then it will fit in the box without disassembly, which is very convenient. And while we're talking about books, there is a size comparison with the Lego Creator Expert Bookshop. So this is a set that came out in 2020 and retired in 2023. I built it a while ago without the instructions, and one of the famous critiques of this set is that it did not have enough bookshelves. Unfortunately, you can't just like take this bookshelf and copy paste it there because it's integrated into the build. You'll have to do some modifications to easily extract this and just put it there, but that is an option. And if you want to go off the grid, if you're not building everything strictly to the modular layout, then you can maybe expand the bookshop and add this as part of it, or maybe have it like as some exterior display where people, they're walking along this street, and then, well, you'd have a door or something or a sign to advertise this thing, or it could be like this, basically to entice people to visit this part of the bookshop in addition to the main part. So somehow I feel like you can integrate this with this. You will have to do a little bit of custom work, obviously, but then you'll have something that looks like a book and it's attached to a bookshop. I just think that the whole thing makes sense, and the color schemes are very similar between the two, so that helps as well. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below, and be sure to like and subscribe for more amazing LEGO videos coming your way very soon. Bye for now.